Remind you of where we're at in the process. Some of you have been with us this whole time through the week, and we have covered how to attract consumers and buyers because they've got to find you in order for you to sell them. And then we talked this morning about wowing them. So it's one thing to find them or have them find you, and then how do you get them excited and wowed? And now we're going to switch over to one of my favorite topics, and that's really about self-service and how to address that consumer need and desire. So we have a great panel assembled for you on that. Before we go to that, however, we have a riveting sponsor presentation by Eric, and he's going to tell us a little bit about New Home Star. And just a reminder that our sponsors are near and dear to our heart, because we wouldn't all be here if we didn't have sponsors that were passionate about this industry and about this business, and really appreciate that. So I'll turn it over to you, Eric, let you go for it.
Yeah. Thank you. My name is Eric Vicky. I'm with New Home Star. Since day one, our core mission has been to help our home builder partners sell more homes more profitably. We began in 2008, not the most auspicious year to start a sales and marketing business in this industry, exclusively focusing on home builders. It's all we do. We have grown through those challenges to over 500 employees, 3.75 billion in annual net sales, and we are currently operating in 40 plus markets around the US. We invested in technology very early on. We knew that it was going to be integral to scale our business, but also to help scale our builders' business as well. We drive margins while defending your operations. We don't ask you to change, we augment to you. We want to elevate the customer journey, and for some of our builders too, we are helping them lift their monthly and annual pace. So this quick snapshot of our current operations of where we can be found throughout the US. Recently, we did expand into Canada. About 2 years ago, we actually have a builder partner in Calgary and also one in Montreal, and we had to learn some French. So typically there are 3 problems we set out to solve for our builder partners, and there are many symptoms that go along with these that we help out with as well, but these are the 3 core problems. Reduced sales pace due to underperforming sales teams, lower margins due to your value not being properly defended on the front lines of sales, and challenges faced with recruiting, motivating, and developing top sales teams. For the first 14 years of our business, we had a singular core business model. We call it our enterprise outsource partnership. In essence, a builder partner will outsource their sales to us, and we manage their entire sales operations. We are, in essence, their sales team. And we've grown, we've grinded through that, and we also learned recently too that not every builder is the right fit or the right size. Maybe they don't have a desire to outsource their sales to us. Maybe they'd like to date before we get married. And so we came up with the Builder Solutions offering. In essence, we can provide lots of varying services on sales and marketing a la carte, and we can tailor fit those offerings to our builders' needs of all shapes and sizes. So to date, we roughly have 8,300 sales under our direct management and an additional 3,400 sales that we are supporting with over 20 builders in our Builder Solutions group. We had to develop many departments internally to support our efforts, to support our sales teams over the years. We had to create an online sales concierge team, full marketing agency within New Home Star. We also created a proprietary platform called New Home Connect to help sharpen the saw of our sales teams to ensure the French fry tasted the same if we're in Oregon or in Florida, really to deploy resources on the front lines. And all of these services now, all of these departments can be accessed via a la carte. And so we're really excited about that. Everything that we do starts here. This is the lens in which we create strategies, tactics. I think everyone in this room would agree and probably say, duh, Eric, traffic times conversion equals sales. But this is the focus that we keep on, is what are we doing to improve traffic? What are we doing to improve conversion every day so we can help our builders sell more homes more profitably? And this brings us to the topic today and why we were so excited and we jumped at the opportunity, because we believe that there are benefits to leveling up what automation in sales looks like, specifically self-touring and the benefits that come along with self-touring. We believe that it better aligns with the desires of today's buyer, drives more traffic to our models and our sales centers. Also seeing that it helps overcome some constraints when it comes to staffing more remote communities. A lot of our builder partners are looking further and further out where land is cheaper, and it's not always easy to staff that, and it's not always a clear solution what that looks like. And so enter our online sales concierge, a service that I briefly touched on earlier, where we think it complements well with self-touring capabilities. So let's say you are using a company like NterNow, or you're considering using a self-touring, and the buyer has entered your model. Well, now what? Now what do we do? For most builders, they're going to rely on their salespeople to engage, nurture those leads. But a company that works very closely with salespeople, we also know that not all of those salespeople are going to do that. And frankly, we believe that you can't afford to have 1 out of 2 potential buyers not be engaged, not be nurtured. And this is why we believe our online sales concierge service can help with that and be a major benefit to that. Even if you have your own OSC, we can also come in as a consulting advisor role, sharing some of the best practices that we've developed along the way. So let's say NterNow helps drive your traffic. NoviHome Star can then be there to help convert said traffic and help drive those sales. When it comes to our online sales concierge, we have some things that set us apart. But the primary goal is to engage online shoppers, qualify, nurture those leads, which we believe is important when it comes to self-touring, and then set those on-site appointments. In essence, both driving that traffic and improving that conversion. Our OSC is different. We provide 12 hours of coverage, 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Robust reporting so that it feels like it's your own in-house team. We don't want to be an auxiliary third party. We want to integrate very much with your on-site team, but also with your systems. All of our builder partners use different CRMs, different ERPs, and it's on us to be experts in those systems, and we want to integrate fully so that way we can provide the highest level of service. We provide a pod, if you will. For some of our smaller builder partners, the major benefit here is they get 3 OSCs roughly for the cost of 1 well-compensated one. And it's these economies of scale that we can really level up both that traffic and that conversion. Plug-and-play capabilities we can turn on very quickly. We also hold ourselves accountable with quarterly business plans, bi-weekly meetings, and weekly reportings. All of our builders get a custom dashboard for lots of data and lots of metrics there. Here's some numbers. We like data at NoviHome Star, even though we're a company of salespeople. We like data. To date, we have serviced over 72,000 online leads. In 2024, current numbers, 26% lead to appointment conversion, 68% appointment kept, 41% of those appointments actually converted to a sale, 5.6% lead to sale conversion. We're proud of those numbers, and we believe that it's due to specific characteristics of what we offer. Our OSC teams are US-based, onshore. They all have new home sales experience and require a minimum of 2 years on the floor experience. Some of them have upwards of 10 years selling new homes. National data and trends, because we are coast to coast, we can share insights that can help with what you're seeing and what your own results are. Are they market specific? Are they performative results? And we can share those data and those trends to help you fine tune your own offering. And then at NoviHome Star, for those of us know that, we drive a culture of motivation. We do a lot of things to promote not just the sharpening of the saws of our sales professionals, but quarterly events, annual sales rally. When people feel like they're valued and they have fun and they like what they do, they not only run through walls for themselves, but they run through walls for our builder partners. And so last, there's a couple numbers that we all have heard. 100% of all home buyers are using the internet for some part of their search. 71% of buyers found their home via a mobile search. The big number for us is that 59% of our builder sales included online sales concierge. And we believe that that will be 2 out of 3 buyers next year will be touched by an OSC. And so when we're talking about companies like NterNow, we want to elevate our own service because we know sometimes buyers are buying on their own terms after hours. We are augmenting our service to provide an after-hour extended coverage from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. to engage with those buyers that are touring your inventory homes and your model homes, and real-time active support to nurture those leads, because sometimes they're not always ready, but the ones that are, we can set those appointments with your on-site team. It's very exciting, but I know you're all a little chilly, and I'm going to wrap up here. And we thank you for your time, and we appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Eric. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Awesome. All right. I love that they don't have just banker hours. I don't know. Some builders have banker hours. I don't know why we do that. But anyway, love that. All right, so as we mentioned, for this session, we're going to be talking about perfecting sales automation in model homes. So it's really about self-service. And, so I think we need to kind of step back for a moment and really understand our prospects, our buyers, our consumers, and the way that they are today. And there's all kinds of different attributes, but kind of pertinent to today is we, and I shouldn't say like these strange people over here who are buyers, we, because we are all customers as well of our favorite services, we demand self-service, we demand 24/7 access. Don't tell me I can't get information in the middle of the night because that's when I have time to do it. We've become really quite spoiled. I think of Veruca from Willy Wonka, I want it and I want it now. And that's really who we're trying to serve. And it's important to kind of understand that just because they're buying a home doesn't mean those expectations change. Those expectations hold true. And then just looking at some of the stats, and Anya had some great stats this morning as well, 25% of the visits come after hours. So 25% if people are trying to come see us and we're not open. In some cases our hours are a little short, but in some cases they have day jobs, they have things they're doing, they can only visit, what we consider after hours. If you look at phone calls, 20% of phone calls come outside of normal business hours. Now, if I was a salesperson for a builder, I would make sure those calls were forwarded to my cell phone, but for some reason we don't feel compelled often to answer the phone. But there's a need there. Our customers want something, and we're not necessarily picking up the phone. And then the same with chats, 40 to 50% of chats occur outside normal business hours. So part of it is about this service and being available for people on their schedule as opposed to ours. But there's also another interesting aspect to self-service. Self-service isn't just about being available, right? Kind of the bare minimum. And it isn't also about cost savings, right? You could implement a chatbot because you don't want to have a live person managing those chats. There are other reasons to do chatbots, but there are some efficiencies, if you will. But there's another really interesting element. There is a psychological difference when I self-serve versus when you are serving me or interacting with me personally. So it's not just about convenience, and some examples that I kind of picked up where McDonald's, has kiosks. They sell, 20% more people order a beverage that weren't otherwise going to order a beverage because the kiosk never forgets to offer, right? They always forget that. And the check size was 30% larger if you order on a kiosk versus a person. Similarly, Taco Bell, 20% larger. And again, that ever-present upsell and that lack of time pressure, right? So if you're ordering something on an app or a kiosk, there's nobody on the other end trying to kind of get you going and get that order done. So you can sit there and ponder whether you want fries with that, right? You can really think through your order. Similarly, Cinemark had very different or very similar results in terms of their self-service kiosks driving up sales. Chili saw a 20% bump when they went to kind of the app on the table. So we're spending more. And some of it relates to kind of social psychology and how we feel about interacting with other people. A liquor store found that when they went to a self-service model and an app, they increased by 8.4%. And a big part of it, they related, so see that bottle of fancy wine? Like, that can be my favorite wine. I would not know how to say that, but I would be too embarrassed to go up to a salesperson in the liquor store and tell them I want the blah, 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 whatever, right? I would be embarrassed. I'm not sophisticated. But if I have an app, I can find it. I can find it myself. So some of it's about not wanting to be stupid or appear, ignorant or unsophisticated. A pizza chain, they found that online ordering, people order more. And you think about the psychology of that, it's kind of embarrassing to say to someone, yeah, I'm ordering for one person, but I'd like 3 large pizzas, right? It's a little bit, not that I've ever done that. But it's kind of embarrassing, right? And you kind of add more. And again, nobody's judging you. Nobody's sitting there thinking about that. And you can take your time and you throw in the brownies or you throw in the cookies. So there's a psychology to self-serve. And you think about in our industry, someone walks in the model home and we hope somebody pounces on them, right? In a nice, elegant kind of way. But your buyers can feel a little bit rushed or a little bit pressured, and they're not as free to express with their partner perhaps what they like, what they don't like, and ponder. Whereas if you allow self-service, you're actually letting them self-actualize. And a great example of this is our industry. As we know, if you give people a virtual design center, they will spend 20% more. And it's simply because they have more dwell time, they're not constrained because of a design appointment where you only give them so many hours, nobody's judging them, nobody's watching them, they can agonize for hours and they naturally sell themselves more. So there's certainly a convenience factor and allowing things to be more convenient for customers, but there's also a psychology of really getting them to self-sell and take themselves further down that sales cycle. So with that, I want to introduce our panel. So we have Barrett down there with NterNow, and have worked with Barrett for many, many years, from startup to success. And it's hard to have a startup. It's challenging. And Barrett is one of the few that has really made it through and has really become kind of the tech expert and digital expert in our industry. So he's going to share some of NterNow. And then similarly, Kody from NoviHome. Do you have the shoes on today?
Got the shoes.
Oh, yeah, there's the shoes, the famous Novi shoes. You've got to get on the list for the shoes. You just have to get on the list for the shoes. I'm still working to get on the list, but maybe someday. Good plug. Good plug for the shoes. But similarly, Kody has done startups outside the industry and now in the industry, and they have an amazing experience app that ties in with kind of the self-touring piece as well. And then, as we have had with all of our panels, we have kind of the builder voice, and I called it the grounding voice. It's like, what really works? What doesn't work? How do you make these things work? And what are their experiences? So we're real lucky to have Karl from Granville Homes, and I think you've been there for almost 3 decades, something like that.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. So you are Mr. Granville.
No.
No, not Mr. Granville. But he's got some experience working with NterNow and some of these tools, so he's going to talk about that. And then Carolyn, who has been a couple of decades in the industry, at least, and has worked with too many builders to name, both directly working within a builder organization and then obviously as part of New Home Star as well. And I found out this morning she hasn't just been in sales and marketing, but she's also been in operations running a division also. So lots of wisdom there. So our agenda, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to walk through the process and some of the benefits, and we'll start with Barrett on NterNow, and then we'll go to Kody at NoviHome, and then we'll go to some builder case studies. So I think we're going to switch it up and start with Granville, and Karl will talk about his experience, and then we'll wrap it up with Carolyn from there. And if we have time, we'll have some Q&A, but we never do, so maybe we will. Maybe this time we will. All right, so with that, I am going to turn it over to NterNow, and we'll just shoot the little clicker over there. I think we have an extra one.
Hopefully my thumb's not too, hopefully it's thought out here. All right, so we're at NterNow. Our slogan's Why Wait Tour Now. Our main objective is to get buyers into your homes on demand without sales pressure to get them in, have the best possible experience they can to tour your homes. And we enable properties for rent and for sale. Some of the basics of a self-guided tour are a home shopper might find the property. About 60% of all of our tours take place on demand. They're driving through your neighborhoods. They might be looking through the window. With self-guided tours, it allows them to see a sign that says, come right in, come tour our homes. And they will stop and go through the process. So the home buyer will verify their identity by scanning their driver's license. They'll take basically a selfie to sort of prove who they are. We capture their first name, last name, street address, phone number. No Mickey Mouses from Zillow or something like this. All of our information is two-factored, relevant, required. We take that information and put it right into your CRM. Lead alerts go right to the sales team as soon as somebody tours your homes. So the irony to the home buyers is they have this innovative, self-service experience. I'm avoiding the whole sales process. They go into your home, they're right into the sales process, they don't even know it. It goes right back into the funnel. So they can tour the home, we can trigger smart home automations, we can turn on the lights, turn on the air, we can play sound through Sonos, they can interact with Alexa. These are more of like the advanced ways to run our program. But simply, we really just want to get them in the door, get them that emotional experience, because often home builders compare themselves against each other, but self-guided tours is a differentiator against resale. Scheduling with their agent, scheduling with another agent is brutal. They can literally drive through your communities, go right into the home whenever they want, sun up till sundown. Once the tour ends, NterNow is by default like a very deep security system. We know when they leave, we auto-lock up the house, we rearm the alarm if there's an alarm system, we can turn off the lights and the AC, we keep the house locked. Most homes, definitely spec homes, tend to be unlocked. The agents go in, the trades go in, everything's unlocked. With self-guided tours and NterNow, we make sure that everything's locked at the end of the night. Just some of the basics, we keep everything quite tight. Where is self-guided tours being implemented? We have several model homes on our platform, so these are staffed properties most of the time. Some people have a tour window before the staff's there, after. Some have we have something called open house mode, where somebody can have an open house. NterNow's not active during that window, but as soon as they leave for the day, it goes right back onto self-guided tours. So people can waltz in, waltz out. It's with your common sales practices for models. Spec homes, definitely our bread and butter. So taking we try to make your assets more productive. Allow these people to tour these homes. We can generate 2 to 3 times more leads, more shots on goals, more sales. Definitely when the sales team's gone after 5 or 6 p.m. Most of our tours, about 28% of our tours, about 1 million last year, were between 6 and 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. Significant amounts of traffic on the weekends where we primarily provide our service. Ever since the NAR settlement, some innovations have come to NterNow. We do have key boxes and these types of realtor experiences that people are deploying. So trying to advocate like dedicated, streamlined programs for agents. You can tour our homes anytime. We have specific programs, we have specific things. Bring your buyers by, you don't need to schedule an appointment. Just come by. It's an edge, it's a competitive edge in certain markets, and we're starting to see this roll out differently. A lot of our builders have moved into build to rent as well. So our technology for NterNow, we can blend between for sale or build to rent, so we can handle multiple portfolios, SFR, BDR, multifamily, things like that. All right, one of the growth engines for self-tours. Our category's growing. We're exponentially growing in NterNow. Majority of our tours happen on site. So you can see here the signage, everything's sort of white labeled. It uses your brand, your theme. It feels like an extension of your builder and your culture and your innovation. It's just sort of powered by us. With the omnichannel tour experience, being able to schedule a tour from your website will definitely drive more traffic. We definitely have analytics now over the years where if you have a normal click-through form to talk to a salesperson or a self-guided tour button, they will click ours 80% of the time. So we help convert the eyeballs to scheduled intent traffic for foot traffic. And so you'll see a huge rise when you implement self-guided tours. It's implemented on your website. It doesn't subvert the salespeople. The lead goes right to them anyways. You just get a lot more click-through. One thing that is growing for self-guided tours is more of the listing services are starting to embrace our technology. They're starting to, now NterNow can publish our self-tour homes up to these listing services, and they're starting to implement in their digital landscapes self-tour buttons. So a home shopper doesn't have to contact an agent. They can actually self-tour right on Zillow or Realtor.com's website. NterNow provides sort of an iframe or sort of a simple copy and paste way of just having a digital experience on your website. So just a self-tour map. These get extreme amounts of traffic in terms of like your website to click through to foot traffic. It's just a dedicated page where somebody can see all of your homes on a map. They can schedule, maybe they've fallen in love with, picked you as a builder. They're just trying to find what zip code they might want to live in, what edge of town, and so they can see all this, and you'll start to see when you implement something like this, a huge rise in self-tour foot traffic. Now that a lot of more and more builders are implementing NterNow, self-guided tours is sort of the door butler, the access layer for these homes. And so it allows people to have a buy now or reserve now type of product because they can start to control that experience. You can reserve the lot. You can use NterNow to go tour the home. You can have, change the way you're staffing your models, change your staff in certain communities. Two companies that we work with definitely leverage us for the buy online process. And now it's moving to digital close as an example. So the homes are being built very far away. They don't have a lot of staff in the field anymore. Now we're even helping them on digital closing. So we can even provide a code for the homeowner to move in before they even go get their keys. So just being on their time, whether it's on the sales process and now moving into operations and even into digital closing. One thing about self-guided tour solutions, since we are in the physical space, and more of our integrations are happening in the digital sort of atmosphere. So this is a dedicated slide, but if somebody's starting their buyer journey on your website or on Zillow or something like that, it's the top of the funnel, they're going through they might be choosing the floor plans or doing a virtual tour. Self-guided tours are starting to integrate into all these experiences, like a button after your virtual tour, okay, go see the home in reality. You're looking on Zillow, okay, go see it in person. And then once they're inside the home, we're letting them in the door. Our idea is to get them to the sales team and back to your sales and marketing digital tools that you've invested in, whether it's your closing portal, MyKB or something like that, or into NoviHome as an example. So somebody's in the home, they get a text, they instantly get inserted into NoviHome. Then that buyer can communicate directly with the sales team, but they can also see like the options. So instead of just touring a vacant property, we're trying to build like a much better sort of digital experience with the tools that you're already investing in. And even as they leave the house now, there's automated text messaging and nurturing. We're integrating into some mortgage experiences like that, just trying to get buyers in any way that they can to afford the home, to convert, and things like that. So we are a door butler. We integrate with all smart home technology. So anything that exists, whether it's in model homes for alarm systems or spec homes that traditionally don't have internet. So we provide all sorts of routers or cellular connectivity into these homes so that we can power the experience for NterNow or trigger other sort of smart home technologies. And also when we collect the lead, we'll send it right into your CRM, whether it's custom or some of our major partners like ECI Lasso. And we can also, in parallel, put into systems like NoviHome and our other partners here at the show. So Talking a little bit more about sort of like the V2 or where people that have been using self-guided tours for a long time, how they've started to like enhance it and embed it into more of their digital experience. So the first one is definitely smart home automation for models specifically, is that when somebody schedules a tour, we can warm up the house if it's cold, or if it's hot outside, we can cool down, it'll turn on the lights, we can play sound, we can trigger different things with smart home automations. We're starting to embed more of immersive experiences on our platform for like sales kiosks. So people are starting to experiment with sales kiosks, just not in their models, but actually in their specs as well, turning some of their new floor plans into these productive assets, even when the sales team's not there. So instead of just waltzing into an empty house, there's actually a sales kiosk there now. Some other pieces of the puzzle like that. And then NoviHome, as we touched on. So they're a great partner to us. From a self-guided tour standpoint, we definitely deliver more shots on goal. You'll get more leads. But coupled with NoviHome and the buyer engagement and some of the sales tooling, it's really helps the independent nature of some of the self-tour visitors sort of convert. So, they're automatically inserted in NoviHome and they're nurtured and stuff like that. And another partner, as an example, is Inugo, so more of on the digital part of your website. So if you have a site map, now it can show which homes are available for NterNow into your virtual floor plans. You might make your brochure. You've got all of your options picked out. Okay, here's 2 homes that you can tour now today that matches the sort of floor plan. So our little self-guided tour buttons are starting to implement in all sorts of different sort of digital marketing pieces. Here's a little use case to give just a rundown on a builder that had NterNow in Texas. She was here last year, but about 1 year they did about 700 tours. They're in a blue-collar part of Texas. As soon as they implemented NterNow, they had a significant rise of traffic and conversions and sales. They were missing a majority of their buyers. Blue-collar people can't tour till 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. They didn't know this until they implemented NterNow, how many people were interested in their product, that were driving by the oil fields, they were driving to work, they're tradesmen. And once they had self-guided tours, we converted about, at the bottom right here, we converted about 15% of their sales. So from a marketing budget standpoint, they pay an ungodly amount for Zillow, and we accounted for double their sales. So based on your communities or your buyer personas, self-guided tours can be a major difference. And then on the left side, a lot of people start with our product by just having it in the field, getting it ready. But once it's implemented on the website, through our analytics now, it's just a case for Kindred here, is that they basically doubled their amount of foot traffic. So once the self-guided tour buttons were embedded into their website, into their experience like Inugo, they started to double their foot traffic. So that was definitely a significant use case. Since we're all at a tech show, self-guided tours for people that have been doing it a long time, is starting to really evolve. And so into 2025, there's a lot of actually kind of new experiences that are coming out at like CES this year. One of them is holograms. So the new AI models come out in 2025 that are powered by some of the new clusters that can replicate your exact voice and audio. And so they have these full retail holograms that you can buy off Alibaba for $2.99. So you start to see these sort of bleed into like retail experiences and things like that. So if you can imagine somebody walking into a model and it's 7 p.m., salesperson's gone, but there's an exact replica of the person, your voice, your audio, you kind of joke and laugh, but these are being sold to car dealerships right now, actually. So, just from a self-guided tour perspective in engineering or technology, we're always trying to like bake in new technologies into experiences that happen after hours, being able to make your sales teams more productive, your assets more productive. And then on the right, I'm not sure if many of the home builders in here use these today, but this is a company called Flock Safety that does license plate reading. These are deployed in most municipalities. Like I live in Atlanta, these are required. All new communities have to have these. And just to give you an example, they're opening up the ability for, I don't know who the license plate is, but I will know exactly how much community traffic's in your neighborhood, and I can start to compute it based on self-guided tours, who's seeing the agents. We could start to tap into some like more ways of understanding the actual foot traffic or drive-through traffic in all of your neighborhoods. So just as an example, like tech and self-guided tours outside of door locks and just letting somebody in, like our ecosystem and bubble just keeps growing and growing as more opportunities come. So
Awesome.
That's it for me.
Wow, you've been busy.
Try stay.
You've been busy. So I have one question for you. Like, okay, so that hologram thing, Can it shave off 20 pounds? Like,
Yeah.
like, can we kind of glam it up? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends how you train the video on it, right?
like, I mean, now that I confess, I order 3 large pizzas for myself. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure it'll be filterable.
Yeah, fascinating. All right, okay, take it away, Kody.
Perfect. So NoviHome does a lot, but today we're really going to focus on how we integrate with the self-tour solutions. NoviHome is a custom branded app. So with NterNow, buyer walks through, they enter the home. We have a trigger that 7 to 10 minutes after the buyer enters the home, they will receive a text message branded from the builder. Essentially, it's a text message from the builder to download that builder's app. They'll also receive an email. So if you have somebody that comes in that's wants to get in through a web portal solution and go through the email, they can do that. The objective there and the goal is to extend the self-tour past the self-tour, right? We don't just want them to pick up a flyer and then hopefully, like Eric was talking about, hopefully someone is reaching out to them. However, it seems like New Home Star's kicking butt on that side with the follow-up. So 10 minutes after the buyer enters the home, they'll receive a text message to download the builder's app. In that app, they're able to see that model that they're visiting, but then they're going to be able to see all of your other available models in your other communities, okay? They can go in, they can look at any community, any model, any QMI, anything that you have available for them. When they download that app, that is automatically connected to a sales agent. It could be an OSC like we talked about earlier, or it could be a sales agent that works that model. So effortlessly, we're connecting, and it's very fluid. And then at that point, if they haven't already been put into the CRM from NterNow, we will push them into the CRM. So it's very smooth. Buyer walks into the model home, they're touring it, all of a sudden they get a text message to download your app. As a home builder, right? They're downloading the app, they leave, now they start looking at the virtual tours from the digital solutions that are out there, like Anugo, Focus 360, Outhouse, and you're tracking all of that. All that analytics is going to be put into your CRM. So I'll kind of walk you through what that looks like. So there's the custom branded app. This is one of our partners, Hartford Homes, based out of northern Colorado. You can see as soon as they open that up, it's very beautiful, easy to use. It's got some about us information. It's got the quick move-ins. It's going to have the model that they're walking through. They can look at everything, right? We want to get them as much content as possible, especially on the follow-up. So, for example, like what Barrett was talking about, a lot of these self-guided tours are happening after hours. They go into your model. Maybe it's a Saturday night. Are we waiting till Monday morning to follow up with them? This is going to help you with the follow-up. This is going to help you engage them and stay in front of that buyer and provide content so they can start to browse your various communities and models specs. The big thing is, another big takeaway is it's going to reduce cost. If any of you are still handing out the flyers, or you have flyers that you're hoping people are going to take, those are going to get thrown away regardless. It might be one day, it might be a week, but those are going to make it in the trash. So let's give them something that's tangible, that they can use, that they can access very easily and look at over and over and over. If they're like me, I got 4 kids, that piece of paper is going to make it 2 days maybe, right? But an app on my phone, I'm going to hold on to that. This is a new feature that we've incorporated with the self-tour solution. This is new this year. This is called the listings feature. Now, we're not here to compete with Zillow or Realtor.com. This is middle of the funnel listings. This is your listings only. Okay, you captured the buyer. You got them in from marketing. You got them in from NterNow. Listings allows them to go in and heart and favorite various specs or QMIs that you have available. Your sales team, whether it be your OSC or on-site sales agent, can also provide them with preferred listings. So if I see that they went in and looked at a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3,500 square foot, 2-car garage on the self-tour, and I know I have 3 or more of those available in the community, but they didn't have a self-tour solution attached to them, as a sales agent, I can add that to the buyer's profile. They can see that, I can see that. Again, we're enhancing the sales efficiency. This is where you own the listing, right? This is your listings, this is your QMIs, and you're capturing and keeping the buyer contained in your infrastructure, right? And anything that they look at, I'm gonna go back to this, anything that they look at, we track, we send that back to the CRM, and we have analytics within our own platform that your sales team is seeing what they're looked at, what device they looked at it from, it's time-stamped, and it's very easy to communicate with what we call an in-app chat. So French Brothers is here. They communicate solely through the app. They don't have to worry about cell phones, texting, tracking that down from an executive level, but everything is very smooth, and the listing features has been fantastic. This is where we start to update through the listings feature. So if any of you have specs that you're building, now that you've captured the buyer, this gets really fun. And again, this is a new feature for 2024, and everybody is loving it. They're having a lot of time, a lot of fun with this. As the buyer is following the listing, if it's not a completed home, you guys are building this out, we have milestones built within that listing. So framing has been completed. This is what it looks like. Here's some photos, here's a video, here's the next steps. Everybody following that listing, every buyer following that listing is going to be updated on that. So Barrett's talking about getting people through your models. Now you've captured them. Now they're following listings, and now that we're updating them, but we don't have to send a text message out and say, hey, framing was completed, and then do that 42 times to the people interested in the house and the buyer agent that brought them to the house. Both parties can follow the listing. They can receive automatic updates. It's super slick for your team. These can also be integrated with your ERPs, okay? Your buyers will see that there are other buyers following that listing, so there's going to be a bit of FOMO created. And again, there's a little bit going on from your sales team, there's a little bit of work, but it's very seamless from NterNow to us and providing this digital solution. And we'll talk a little bit more about this home tracker. So the home tracker is going to go in, and this gives us a good shot of it. You guys can see this can be customized. We have 7 steps. I will give you a story. We had a builder recently. The mayor may not be in this room that I think at first said, hey, we want 20 milestones. And we're like, okay, let's do it. Well, you're going to get what you want. You're the buyer. You're a client. Then they reduced that down to 8 as they started to really roll this out. The home tracker is there within your specs to update the buyers, and it is very clean, so they can go through, if they're tracking 7 different specs within your community that are being built, they can see all the updates, they can bounce back and forth, and see where that is at. So, okay, it's under framing, maybe I wanna get with a sales agent and kind of walk that and see what it looks like, right? Again, this is all digital updates that it's not a heavy lift for your sales team. That again, we're taking that NterNow experience and just rolling with it and bringing it right through, okay? This includes videos. So I've got a real fun builder in Texas that all they do is videos. And it's selfie mode, walking through the home. Hey, just wanted to let you know, we installed carpet today. Here's what it looks like, so excited. And he might move his phone around and then it updates and that pushes out through the listing. The idea here is with the self-guided tours, we don't want them to just go home and not have any content to digest. We want them to go home, we want them to download your app, we want them to be engaging. You've now captured them, you're controlling their buyer experience, and then we want to build off that. And we want them to be thinking about you all the time, and we want them to be waiting for the update of like, okay, they framed it 2 weeks ago, how come I haven't got an update? I'm gonna call the sales agent, maybe it went under contract. Within these tools, anytime there's an update done by the builder, all buyers will be updated that are following that listing, okay? Potential buyers. I shouldn't say buyers. I should say prospects, right? All prospects will be updated. That can include a price change. That can include a purchase incentive. Like right now, purchase incentives, 2-1 buy down, 3-1 buy down on the long-term loan, that type of stuff. You add that to the listing, all those buyers and buyer agents are going to be automatically updated with that solution. And I'll just follow back with this. Again, this is super important because a lot of times what we hear is, oh no, this is another step for my sales team, or now they got to go put it in their CRM. We have integrations with Lasso, HubSpot, Salesforce, Sales Simplicity. Who am I missing? There's like 12 or 14 different integrations there. We're going to push all that information into the CRM, okay? And there's different fields. Every CRM is different, but we've become very good at that. We will also, every agent is going to have this, what we call the Focus app on their phone. This is for your sales agents. And they're going to get live updates of all their buyers and who's logging in. So it's going into the CRM. We're pushing there. But also, we know that our agents are mobile and they're moving around, right? They're using their phones more than they are sitting in front of their computer. So we want them to be able to have full access to what their buyers are doing, especially if all of a sudden we have a price change. Oh my gosh, I'm going to see I want to go look at every buyer that's looked at that home in the last 30 days. Boom, it populates, and we're rocking and rolling. That's it. That's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, now we're going to transition into kind of some builder case studies of what they've experienced. So we're going to start with our buddy Karl from Granville Homes, and he's going to share his experience.
Oh, thank you. All right. First of all, my name's Karl Gosswiller. I'm with Granville Homes. We're in Central California. Been in business for 47 years. We are primarily a single-family home builder, but we also do multifamily and commercial. We even have a news service, believe it or not, and founded by immigrants that came here in the 70s, and 3 brothers. So we have 3 product lines, ranging from 1,700 square feet to around 5,000 square feet, priced from, I think about the lowest is around 600,000. Highest this year was 3.5 million. But most of our stuff is closer to $1 million. As far as our experience with NterNow, which I'm really here about, we built to suit primarily for most of that 47 years. And about 10 years ago, we started switching to more of a inventory-based. Probably 3/4 of our sales are inventory rather than build to suit. And when that started, we had this dream of taking people to our houses and having them magically open up without our agents leaving. And we didn't see how that was possible because we couldn't buy internet at all these houses and do all this stuff. So it was frustrating. Then in 2019, we find NterNow. So and start our initial access to homes. And really all that we were looking for at that time was a way to keep our agents in the sales office, not shutting the sales office down to go show homes out in the field that are 3 or 4 miles away. But then, boom, it happened in 2020. Now nobody wanted to go anywhere near anything with anybody, and NterNow really proved the best for us at that point, because we were at a point where we weren't really using NterNow much yet. It was just being phased in, and we're trying to figure out how to get people into our homes, but people didn't want to come anywhere near us. We were getting phone calls, but they don't want to come in our models, and our sales agents are scared of people, and it was a mess. We were leaving our doors open everywhere and go, just go over here and do this, and then finally started implementing NterNow, and it getting that experience. And we went from a year that we thought we were going to sell nothing to a year where we sold several hundred homes. So it was a huge win for us at that beginning level. But then once COVID was over, it really proved its footing, because buyers kind of kept that way. They kept not wanting to be hauled around to go into our sales offices. Our model home center traffic started kind of plummeting. People were not coming around, period. It was more of an online experience. And as we expanded NterNow, it became more of an NterNow experience. And 5 of our 8 communities currently have NterNow. We've got 18 to 24 homes usually, with about, I think, what is it, 800? Yeah, I think it's 825 visits per month coming through NterNow. The busiest times are on the weekends, but really where it serves us the best is after hours, between 5 and 8 o'clock at night. Every night I'm out in the field. I actually do our photography. And so at that dusk moment, I'm out there taking pictures. And there's always people crawling through our houses at those hours, and they're much more comfortable. The low pressure situation is really a huge benefit for us. It's been it's been frustrating in a way, because it's hard as a builder. Our sales agents are scared of this. They think they're going to lose their jobs to it. Our builder, the owner, is scared of it because he can't get over the fact that, are they going to come in and steal all our stuff? Are all our microwaves going to go flying out the doors and the ovens disappearing? And after 5 years, we've got 0. I mean, we've had nothing happen. We did have somebody try to rent some of our houses, but I don't think that really, actually NterNow helped us get out of that, because they were sending people to the NterNow app, but it really wasn't related. I don't know, I'm not a good speaker here, but the whole experience has been just such a blessing for us, because besides the whole new flock of customers that don't want to go through our models, it also enhances the flock for the people that do, because now they can go at all hours through all of our spec inventory. And we've concentrated on spec inventory until this year. We finally opened up a model home complex. They were really afraid of this one. The model home complex, we had a fully operational model home complex. It's got every bell and whistle as far as we're concerned, as far as decorated TVs, music playing through, all our little kiosks, et cetera, in it. And we decided to try to do self-tours, and scared to death of it. I'm married to this thing, so it really scares me, because all I could envision was the 9 o'clock at night, I'm going out there to lock the doors that didn't get locked when they went out, or oops, somebody went out the slider, now we're in trouble, I gotta go deal with the slider every night, and I already work enough. This really scared me personally on that level. And again, we did a few fixes, got little locks on all the windows, things like that, so that people aren't doing that. And I can honestly say I have not made one trip out there at 9 o'clock at night. So it's worked too. The extended hours have been a huge advantage to our customers. From 7 to 8 p.m. tour hours, 365 a year. I think I actually want to expand that, but we have nobody at this model center. It's got almost equal traffic with my manned centers, and truthfully, we picked this one because it has terrible traffic. So that was the one that got chosen for our experiment because it's the one we struggle at the most. We're way out of price point on it in comparison to our competition. There was a lot of reasons we picked this one. There are none of the good reasons to give NterNow a success on it, but they have been
It's
successful.
really good
Yeah,
to
we
challenge
turned it around.
Barrett, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, here, I'm
We
going to
get the
give you
tough
the
cookies
worst
sometimes.
community.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you.
No, we truly did give them the worst community, and but it really has been great, and I no complaints. As far as some of the things that we're planning for the future, we'd like to add. Well, we'd like to continue to find ways to have less maintenance trips. That's just being honest. There's work to this. You've got to put batteries in your stupid locks. They go out a lot, and you need someone that's going to do those things. When you see it's down, you got to find out why. That has dropped by over 50%. I can honestly say, as the person that does every one of them, it's gotten better and better, and that's all on them. They've really, Barrett and his team have really done amazing things to improve their systems. I want to expand the NterNow into all our neighborhoods. We've got the sales, our sales staff is scared of it still, and we have some neighborhoods that are about 30, 40 minutes outside of our regular sales range, and they think somehow if we put NterNows there, that's going to be a problem. They haven't ever been a problem anywhere else, but that's going to be a problem, so I'm hoping to overcome that hurdle. And then the other thing is adding Alexa or Google personal assistants that are customized to answer questions about our homes into our model homes that are self-tour. We've got stands that say, call us here, call us there. We have agents on hand. Truthfully, they don't call. They're going on a self-tour because they don't want to see your agent yet. They're not there for your agent. So they're not calling. That's a huge frustration for my sales manager. We have a constant battle about this. And I'm saying, give them time. If they want to buy, they do have to talk to you. So this is a way to hopefully engage them. We're messing with it now. We haven't really got that ready to go yet. And then adding scheduling, because as Barrett was saying, somebody had 50% increase in traffic? That rings in my eyes. We've resisted it. We've resisted scheduling on our site. Again, it's back to sales agents don't want to have any conflictions we chose NterNow specifically because it is on demand. Anybody drives up, they can walk in. They don't have to have a schedule. And that's been awesome. So adding scheduling to it seems exactly the opposite of why we chose you in the first place.
Right.
But if it is helpful, hey,
Yeah.
I'm game.
Well, Karl, this is like a beautiful case study. It just seems like you've had some really good experiences with it. And I'm also super curious that you pretty much are changing the batteries, you're doing the photography, and you're managing NterNow and all of this stuff. So it seems like you do a lot there at Granville. But I think it's a great case study. I mean, it's interesting to be reminded that we just went through COVID. It seems like a decade ago, but that COVID acceleration of technology, and it kind of forced us all to become much more tech savvy out of survival. But at the same time, our consumers, made this leap as well. So really appreciate you sharing those findings. And we're going to hear some more now from Carolyn, who's going to take us through some of her experiences as well.
So my story is a little bit more unique. For the last couple of years, I was the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for DR Horton in Columbus, Ohio, before joining New Home Star and becoming this regional senior director for NoviHomes. So the great thing is I'm able to share the story of frustrations as a head of sales and marketing and getting those staffs and getting everything together to capture leads and convert to sales. And it's the same thing that I went through with DR Horton that I'll be bringing to NoviHomes. So what happened is that I joined a company that, and I don't know if some of you have it, but they did cross-selling. Anybody here do cross-selling? Okay. It's a very unique style of selling. It's something very foreign to me. So that meant I didn't have salespeople in the models. They had certain guidelines and restrictions, then it got opened up. In order to sell more homes, we were selling about 650 homes and trying to push the envelope there in Columbus, it went to being able to leave a model home at any time for an appointment, and it might be that they're gone for an hour, 2 hours. I mean, it was tough, and I was a frustrated New Home sales executive saying, how am I gonna staff this? Because at the same time, our Google My Business would never be correct. People would be finding us, and then nobody's there. Now, wouldn't that be frustrating for you to show up at a store and you can't get in the door? So I was very, very frustrated trying to find what solutions we could have to cross-selling and still keeping that same process, but making sure we were staffed. This definitely lost capturing the model home visitor. There is no way. I've seen frustration. In fact, when I interviewed originally for DR Horton, I sat in front of a model home waiting for the salesperson. I was out checking out the models and nobody was there because they cross-sold. So I know that missing the opportunity to capture leads, we put a lot of money in our digital assets. We have virtual tours, we have listings. It's no secret that we want people to be at our models. We want them to look at us and we want them to visit us. We want a chance to work with them. So we know that we were losing that appointment. We were losing the opportunity to convert people. Because if they're frustrated, they're just gonna go down the street to a Fisher Home Community, to a Ryan Home Community, any other builder, because now they're frustrated with us. So I also want to enhance the realtor and customer experience. We're very high realtor engagement. And again, on their demand, when they have the customer with them, we need to find a solution where they could do that. So I'll go this quickly. And I needed some peace of mind. I was going crazy. How am I going to solve this problem? Because every day I'm worried that I'm not properly staffed, and we have sales goals. So some of the challenges were didn't have the right sales office layout. We had an opening going into the model. There's no additional sales management. We're doing 650 homes. It was just me. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to get this done. And we certainly had a division, not DR Horton themselves, but a division that was very tech adverse. This would be something very new to them. But we did have smart home technology and model alarm access, which, when that was the other concern. How are they going to get to lock the home back up? How are they going to reset the alarm? Or how's that going to be safe? We carried about 125 inventory homes at all time. That's a lot. And so you need to move the inventory home. So I need another solution for people to access the inventory homes. And we had a very small OSC team, 2 people. Had I had something like Eric's proposing for after hours, I would have been able to do more and actually not limit that, because the person who was after hours was me. So if I got a call, that's okay. I was willing to take that call, talk to the customer. I know I could call them immediately if they were able to tour our homes. So sometimes it's about the budget, because we hear that a lot, is that sometimes on your budget, it may stop you from implementing some of these great ideas. This was a very cost-effective way to do it. I called up Barrett. I'd met NterNow through some of these builder tech environments and IBS, and I knew that there were some solutions out there. I was able to reach out to a fellow DR Horton division who had them in their division using it successfully, because it's much easier to get a division president to agree with you if it's working successfully somewhere else. But Barrett was very patient, gave us the guidance and support that I needed, And also there's signage, making it DR Horton idea so that we don't lose our branding. The nice thing is I don't know how to partner with the alarm company to switch off the alarm and turn it back on. Barrett and his team took care of all of that for me and worked with our regional purchasing folks and even answered questions for our legal department. So it took me out of that and it made it much easier, very seamless for me. And it helped champion a cause to have it be a national decision. So from there, we were able to have it available if other divisions wanted to implement it. This is a little bit of the marketing. It's nice because it's not NterNow, it's yours. So whatever builder you're working for, you get to have that branded. You get to be in control of it, and you can advertise it, MLS, whatever you need to do on your website, and make it a great experience. But it is all about the results. We know any kind of implementation and investment that you make has to have results. First and foremost, it was a great customer experience. Having those same folks that we talked about on this panel who are service workers or their schedule didn't align, and having the freedom for them to visit the model home on their schedule, well, that's great. I'm one of those people that goes to a car lot because I want to look at the cars, and I know they're closed on Sunday. I don't know what I'm expecting to get out of it, but I don't want to talk to a salesperson when I'm looking. If they could make this available for cars, that would make me happy. But the nice thing was it was the same way. People could experience our model home. They could look at the beautiful decorating. We could get them in the door, and we could make the appointment. So we increased the appointments. Our OSCs and our salespeople were very happy with this. I've called people myself and set up an appointment in real time. You can also have it go to your OSCs, your sales team, the sales leader. You could customize it the way that you need it to work for you. And it just really made some great solutions for us and new opportunities. This also helped with staffing, the shortages or on vacations or someone calls in sick. Oh, what a headache for a head of sales and marketing, right? You've got to keep your model staffed. This made a great solution for me. And realtors did love it. We also had, go one step further, realtors had keys to all of our homes at one point. And so pulling that back in, Barrett partnered with me to have that realtor lockbox and have them in key areas. And we could now track a realtor who actually had a key and knew where it was and it went back to the lockbox. So again, being able to market to the realtors and their clients. But I think bottom line, besides getting all those sales, I could sleep at night. I had some peace of mind. It solved the problem, and it's something that I know works. We were able to increase all this and sell more homes. And you say, well, you're already selling a lot of homes. Why would one more sale be important? Well, we're D.R. Horton, and we want to sell more homes. You all want to sell more homes. If you can find a solution, sell one more home with some technology and be accessible to the customer, that is a win-win for everybody. What's next for us is that we're going to be bringing it to NoviHomes. We're looking forward to partnering with them. Although they're not an inventory builder, we have models, and some of their communities have some smaller areas out a little bit further, and maybe it's staffing, maybe waiting for a phase release. And we're super excited to be able to bring it to them through New Home Star and with NoviHomes partnering with NterNow. And I'm excited. I want to talk to them about what you have. And I'm like, got all these great ideas. So I can't wait to get back and get everything started. So if you have any questions about how it worked or anything, please feel free to reach out. Love to talk to you.
Great, thank you.
I was able to get that with 1 minute to go.
I know, you are amazing. You are amazing. She got it all in.
Talk fast.
Yeah, well, we have like a minute or so. If anybody has any questions that they want to pummel, we do like Stump the Chump. Kevin, perfect. Stump the Chump. All right, well, we are out of time. Thank you so much for spending this hour with us. And I think you're going on to your next session. Thank you. See you later.